From the Pepsi Arena in Albany, it's the 2000 HSBC MAAC Basketball Tournament Semifinals. In our opening game, the Niagara Purple Eagles with a record of 17-11 against the top-seeded Siena Saints with a record of 22-7. We take a look at the brackets of what's happened earlier this weekend here in Albany, and there is our Final Four as the Saints, you hear in the background, take the court. Siena, the home team, against Niagara in the afternoon's first game, and then Fairfield versus Iona. The winners of these two games will meet in the championship game tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. And welcome everybody to Albany. Doug Sherman along with Glenn Consoler. Glad you could join us here today for what should be a really charged Pepsi Arena.
And the reason they're going to be charged is because Siena is the deepest and most talented team in the MAAC conference. It's no secret anymore. They have two of everything. They can run 6'8" guards. They can play 6'9" guys and shoot from three-point line. So they have so many different weapons, Doug.
Meanwhile, don't feel sorry for Niagara. They have the primary weapon in the league in Damon Stewart, the top scorer in the MAAC.
Well, they're the leading scorer in the MAAC. Damon Stewart also coming off a 31-point quarterfinal game against Marist. He's 6'4". He could post you up and make three-point shots. He's playing like a man possessed.
Meanwhile, Siena relies very heavily on one of its senior co-captains. Corey Osinski's a local kid who brings a lot to the table.
Well, he certainly does. 6'8", he can make three-point shots, but his biggest attribute is his ability to put it on the floor and his intensity. He truly is the emotional leader on a very talented Siena Saint team.
All right, our keys to the game is always brought to you by Citizens Communications. First, for the Purple Eagles, Glenn, what do they need to do?
Well, Niagara's going to have to expect 40 minutes of pressure, attack the pressure, push with patience, take good shots, but more importantly, really limit second chance opportunities. Siena is the biggest team, a very strong offensive rebounding team. From Siena's standpoint, they're going to have to defend Damon Stewart, make sure they put a guy out on him outside the three-point line, stop him in the transition game, and also create opportunities off of their defense, push the ball up, get some easy shots.
Okay, at this time, we'd like to introduce the third member of our broadcast team here this afternoon, Howard Simon, standing by with the head coach of Niagara, Joe Mihalik.
Thanks very much, Joe. Lost a couple of times in the regular season to Siena. What do you have to do to turn it around here in the tournament?
We got whacked a couple of times during the season by Siena. Obviously, we can't play the way we played those first two times. We've got to handle the ball better. We've got to attack their press to score. We've got to rebound the ball. Nobody talks enough about Siena and the way they rebound the ball. They're a really good rebounding team. They're very, very active and aggressive on the glass. People talk about their three-point shooters and their presses and so forth, but they really rebound the ball. Sounds simple, but it's really going to be tough. They're a very good team.
Good luck today.
Thank you very much.
Joe Mihalik joining us from Niagara. Guys, we'll send it back over to you.
All right, thank you, Howard. We'll take a break and come back with the starting lineups and the opening tip-off of this MAAC semifinal between Siena and Niagara. You're watching the MAAC Television Network. This game is brought to you in part by the Pepsi-Cola Company, the joy of cola. HSBC, your world of financial services. Continental Airlines, work hard, fly right. Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC. Budget, get out of the ordinary with budget. Mazda, get in, be moved. And by the New York Lottery. New York Lotto, will you be ready if it happens to you? Welcome back, everybody, to the Pepsi Arena in Albany. Moments away from the start of our MAAC semifinals. First game between the Siena Saints and the Niagara Purple Eagles. Starting lineups brought to you by Citizens Communications. The backcourt for Niagara, the top scoring duo in the conference. Darryl Green at the point, Damon Stewart at the off-guard spot. Nate Pernosky, Terry Edwards, Christos Defudis, the starting front court for Niagara. Meanwhile, for the Saints, Isaiah Stewart at the point. Marcus Faison still battling a knee injury. Will start and play at the two-guard spot. Corey Osinski, Jim Canamesa, Dave Dieters up front for the Saints. Their head coach, Paul Hewitt, in his third season as head coach at the Loudonville School. You see the numbers last year, postseason champs, trying to make it two in a row this year. And the head coach, Joe Mihalik, for the Niagara Purple Eagles in his second season. Last year, these two teams shared the regular season title, and Mihalik's club won the tiebreaker and had the top seed in the 1999 MAAC tournament. You see what happened yesterday. Siena beat Canisius, and the starters quite often don't play so many minutes because Paul Hewitt has a deep bench, but yesterday they produced a lot of points.
Well, we talked about how Siena's like Noah's Ark. They have two of everything. They can go big or small. They can go short and fast. This is a team that starts 6'9" Jim Cantamesa, 6'8" Osinski, and Dave Dieters. Those three guys can shoot threes. A very unusual starting lineup. Isaiah Stewart has to control the tempo of this game. Darrell Green, the point guard for Niagara, is going to have to make sure he controls tempo and not get caught up in 40 minutes of mayhem.
Damon Stewart open from the left corner. Missed his first shot. Weak side rebound, Terry Edwards. Back to Stewart, who again is left open, and he gets the roll. Niagara 3, Siena nothing. The league's top scorer, Damon Stewart, has been playing like a man possessed here this weekend.
Well, I had a chance to talk to the coaching staff, and they said they just cannot believe how he is off the court as well. He's fired up, very intense, and really wants a piece of Siena.
Stewart averaged over 22 points per game during the regular season. He had 31 yesterday. The other Stewart in this game, Isaiah Stewart, answers back with a three of his own. We're tied at 3. Pressure broken. Stewart kicks to the corner. Terry Edwards spotting up from 21 feet. Cantamesa the rebound. Marcus Faison driving on Bernowski. Cantamesa lays it in. Siena on top 5-3. Quickly back the other way. Edwards misses his second shot in a row. Cantamesa with the rebound. Saints trying to run. Osinski. Offensive foul. Terry Edwards drew the charge. And he responds to the fans' boos by booing them back. Joe Mihalik's club against Paul Hewitt's club in transition.
Siena making an early statement. They're going to try to beat Niagara down the floor. Boy, that call could have went either way. Probably should have been a no call.
Corey Osinski taken out of the game. You saw Paul Hewitt talking with his senior captain just for a moment, trying to settle him down. Dwayne Archibald has come into the game. Damon Stewart misses. Edwards with another offensive rebound. Here's Darrell Green. Little leaner. Good. We're tied at 5. 18-10 to go first half. A frenetic pace so far.
Little 3-2 zone by Niagara.
Stewart misfired on the 3. DeFutis called for the foul as Cantamesa went to the ground. Well, Christos DeFutis coming off a great quarterfinal game yesterday. Niagara beat Marist 83-65. And DeFutis came up with 12 points and 13 rebounds. There you see also Damon Stewart, top scorer, but DeFutis, one of the unsung players who really stepped up big in the quarters.
Yeah, he's a very underrated player. He does a lot of the little things, intangible things. He takes charges, gets offensive rebounds. Dave Dieters, 6'11", coming off the floor now to give a little break. See, this is where they can go big and small. Now they got Michael Berman and another excellent three-point shooter at 6'8". They just run 3 or 4 guys or 2 that could all shoot threes, and they're 6'8", 6'9".
Stewart misses, and a rebounding foul against DeFutis. That's his second. Second against Niagara. Paul Hewitt's club, this is their home floor in Albany. And so far over the last 2 seasons, the Saints are 26-2 here in this building. Shea Cohen into the game. Corey Osinski back out for Siena. Scott Knapp has come in. Excuse me, Glenn.
Niagara showing a little 3-quarter court 1-2-2 zone press just to slow Siena down a little bit. All the object of playing this type of a zone is just to control the tempo a little bit, force Siena to working around the perimeter a little bit longer, maybe 5 to 10 seconds longer than they would like to. Then they fall back into the zone, making the early statement of the game, Doug. Try to force Siena to beat him from the outside.
Cantamesa at the high post, 20 seconds on the shot clock. Stewart again from outside. The Purple Eagles seem content to let him take it. He's hit 2 out of 3 so far. Edwards fouled by Berman. And Terry Edwards, senior forward from Texas, will go to the line to shoot 2.
See, Paul Hewitt's game plan is to get the press on, and get this game into the transition, make it an open court game. And Isaiah Stewart is nailing three-point shots right now, and he's going to have to try to bring that defense out. And the question right now is, how long is Joe Mihalik going to sit back and play that soft zone?
Luke Dobrich in, Nate Bernowski out. Dale Taylor comes in for Siena, replacing Jim Canamesa.
Doug, Paul Hewitt's system is to get the press on, push the ball up the floor. They don't mind giving up some easy transition baskets. They want to make this a track meet because they feel they could use their depth, and they feel that they're the deepest team in the league, and if it gets to that, they're going to win out. You're going to give up some easy baskets. You're going to turn the ball over. A lot of people don't realize Siena turns the ball over close to 18 times a game. But conversely, their opponents about 26.
The other Stewart, Isaiah Stewart, heating up with 8 points. And we've talked rightly so about DeMond. Isaiah's capable of putting up points. He has a career high of 28 in a game against St. Peter's. Here's Shea Cohen all by himself. Dobrich found him. 10-9 Siena. And there's Cohen taking the ball away. Purple Eagles with a chance to take the lead.
Shea Cohen had a great game against Marist, 6'8", 240 pounds. And he's like the enforcer in there. Doug brings a lot of intensity to the table in the low post for Niagara.
Edwards was out of bounds when he received that pass, so back over to Siena. Paul Hewitt continues to play traffic cop over in front of the Siena bench. James Clinton comes in for the first time. Taylor goes out. Stewart with the basketball. Faison's back in with Archibald, Dieters, and Clinton. Niagara's got Green and Stewart, Cohen, Edwards, and Dobrich. Siena's the top seed, Niagara the number 5 seed. Faison gets it stripped away, gets it back. Good defense by DeMond Stewart. Pass mishandled by Dieters. Purple Eagles with it. Stewart penetrates, kicks, back out Dobrich for 3. The Purple Eagles take the lead, 12-10. Quickly back the other way. Faison fouled on the lefty layup. He'll go to the line to try and complete the three-point play.
Doug, there is no time to celebrate after you make a basket when you play Siena because they're coming right at you with all kinds of different targets. Faison, 6'6", one of the top players in the transition game in finishing plays. He just sneaks behind the defense. Cohen got there way too late.
Bernowski replaces Edwards for Niagara. Faison completes the three-point play, which brings us to our first commercial here at the Pepsi Arena. We'll step away with 15:50 remaining in the first half. 13-12 Siena on the MAAC Television Network. Siena with a 1-point lead over Niagara in our first MAAC tournament semifinal of the afternoon. And Fans HSBC is proud to sponsor the HSBC Family Section. Tickets and programs for today's action provided by HSBC, your world of financial services. We send it at this time back over to Howard Simon. Howard?
Guys, Paul Hewitt unhappy in that last huddle with his players as far as rebounding is concerned, yelling at them at the top of his lungs. Too many offensive rebounds for Niagara. He also told them that they got to make sure they get back harder on defense. As to offense, he hasn't been happy with their ball movement. He said you got to execute better, work some back screens better, but he really worked in the rebounding theme in that huddle. Back to you.
Thank you, Howard. Now Niagara against that Siena defense barely gets it across the timeline. Cohen had it stripped away by Faison out of bounds. It'll be Niagara basketball with 22 seconds on the shot clock.
The first goal Niagara is trying to accomplish is to beat Siena's press down the floor. They're doing a nice job with some quick vertical passes up the sideline.
Here's DeMond Stewart. Bernowski working the baseline on Dieters. And a blocking foul against Siena's big center. That's a tough matchup. Bernowski, a quick 6'5" swing man, and Dieters, a 6'11" center.
Yeah, Dieters just bumped him a little bit, did not establish position defensively. It's a good call. Early in this game, Doug, there's some more threes than twos.
Cross court to Dobrich. Cohen set the screen for the open look for Dobrich, but he missed it. Bernowski tipped it in.
He's crafty. Bernowski, 6'6", quick to the offensive boards, can make threes.
Damon Stewart, the big rebound. Niagara with a 1-point lead and the basketball. Darrell Green thought about the three, now penetrates, had it blocked on the way up. There's Bernowski again on the offensive glass. Well, just what Howard said, Paul Hewitt was stressing in the last huddle. That's consecutive offensive rebounds. Siena's given up. Archibald answers back the other way.
Bernowski is so quick to the offensive boards, Doug. He's one of these guys that you have to lay a body on because he uses his quickness. He's got a great nose for the ball. And that's one of the things that is got to be of concern to Paul Hewitt. Watch how he just sneaks in. Well, you see his little hand up. You got to push him out of the paint. If you're watching the ball and you don't lay a body on someone, it's going to be a problem because he's so quick to the glass. Watch this. Great timing. Goes up strong. And there's the finish.
That's 4 offensive rebounds Siena's given up. 2 by Terry Edwards and those 2 by Bernowski. And the Purple Eagles have capitalized to grab a 1-point lead. Rossi Karen in the game with the basketball. Runs into a brick wall down low. Back out. Purple Eagles swing the ball beautifully to Damon Stewart, who misses the 3. Scott Knapp the rebound. Nice pass inside. Dieters for 2. Scott Knapp with a nice feed. Saints back on top 17-16.
Doug, you talk about the diversity and versatility of Siena's ball club. What makes them so tough is that the big guys run the floor. 6'8", 6'9" can get up and down the floor like guards do, and that's why they cause so many problems in the MAAC conference.
That foul against Canamesa, his first and the team's 4th. Dobrich will inbound. Luis Villafane is into the game for the first time. First time in this tournament. We didn't see the young freshman in the quarterfinals yesterday when the Purple Eagles disposed of the Marist Red Foxes. Terry Edwards. Dobrich guarded by Knapp. Man-to-man Siena defense. Stewart spins away from Osinski, and he hits. 5 points for the MAAC's top scorer. Niagara back on top. Only for a moment, Dieters answers right back.
See, Damon Stewart did a little victory dance after he made that 20-foot shot. But there's no time to celebrate. You got to get back. Look at Dieters, 6'11", running the floor, beating down the guards.
Darrell Green hits the 3.
We got the best backcourt in the MAAC playing right here in Niagara. Darrell Green and Damon Stewart.
Green had a relatively quiet Saturday. There's the interior defense breaking down again. Dieters for another easy 2. Edwards. Charge. Corey Osinski took it and took a blow to the chops. Edwards picks up the personal.
See, I'm not too sure if going at this pace favors Niagara right now. You see, they kind of lure you into and entice you into thinking you have shots, and then they pick up charges, and all of a sudden they're coming back and scoring easy layups back. That's why you have to take care of the basketball. Dobrich did a nice job coming off the bench.
Knocked down a 3. Dieters goes out as the top scorer in the game with 6 points. Field goal percentage pretty good for Siena, 9 out of 12. And like you said, Glenn, a lot of those on easy looks inside. Faison blocked by Edwards. Faison gets it back, and he was fouled. Edwards picks up the personal foul.
Doug, Dieters causes some matchup problems, not only in the half-court offense, but also running the floor. Look how he plays peekaboo on the baseline, no one from Niagara matching up. Then he just runs the floor. This is just in the transition game. Another easy layup. And then again, off the nice pass, draw and dish, takes it to the hole. Niagara not matching up very well off the penetration. 2 things have to change from Niagara's standpoint, Doug. They have to stop penetration and do a better job of matching up against the perimeter players from Siena.
Faison makes them both. He's got 5. Dieters is the quote-unquote other senior in the starting lineup, Glenn, and quietly he has some very effective games. Meanwhile, Darrell Green up to 7 points. Tied at 23. Osinski blocked. DeFutis knocked it the other way. Darrell Green gets the roll. 25-23 Niagara.
Nice. This is where Niagara has to run. On steals, on block shots. that's when you have to take advantage of those opportunities. But you don't want to get into a track meet. It's too enticing, Doug. It's so easy, especially if you're out there playing. You think you have shots, you want to run with Siena, and then you just get nailed. Stewart is on fire. If you look closely at his fingertips, you might see some smoke coming out.
11 points for Isaiah Stewart. Blocking foul against Isaiah Stewart. Well, Glenn, at this pace, the final score will be about 115 to 110. We shall see. Timeout here at the Pepsi Arena in Albany. MAAC semifinals underway with a flourish. Purple Eagles running and gunning, yet they trail Siena by a point on the MAAC television network. Back at Albany, Siena with a 1-point lead over Niagara in this first of our semifinals of the MAAC tournament. Doug Sherman along with Glenn Consor and Howard Simon. And here's a look at future NCAA championships that will be at MAAC facilities later this year, later this month. The NCAA Men's Basketball Championship to the Marine Midland Arena in Buffalo. Also the cross-country championships in Van Cortlandt Park in the Bronx, which is not too far from Manhattan College, just down the hill. 2002 Wrestling Championships here in Albany. Also the 2003 NCAA March Madness will be back here in Albany. And hockey as well. Darryl Green hits the three, and Niagara back on top. Glenn, that's our 13th lead change already.
Oh, they're going. The thing that I like about Niagara, they're attacking. Darryl Green had been in a shooting slump the last 7 games of the season. That slump seems to be over. He's making threes.
Yeah, he's got 12 points already. He and Isaiah Stewart, the point guards, answering each other basket for basket. That time Isaiah Stewart a little bit short. There's DeMond Stewart in the corner, guarded by Faison. Darryl Green off the up fake, short on the floater. DeFutis called for the foul over the back. Let's send it over to Howard Simon.
A few things from Joe Mahalik in that last huddle. Isaiah Stewart has 3 threes, as you've seen. You'd think maybe he'd get on his team in the timeout. He said, you know what? Let Stewart keep taking that shot. If he's going to shoot it from beyond the NBA range, let him keep going. If he's going to stop making it. He also stressed, if you don't get the offensive board, you guys got to get back on defense. And he also reminded Terry Edwards he wants to keep him in the game. He said, hey, don't forget, you're playing with 2 fouls. Don't reach. You can't get that 3rd foul. Back over to you.
All right, thank you, Howard.
And why that's so important is Niagara is not a deep team. If Edwards gets in foul trouble, that will really diminish the rebounding prowess of Niagara. They're doing a fabulous job limiting Siena's second chance opportunities. That's DeMond Stewart's game. In the open court, he can finish and take guys. Very animated.
7 now for DeMond Stewart. It's a 4-point Niagara lead. 10:38 to go in the first half. Faison with a left-handed move.
See how Edwards backed off on that defensive play? Didn't want to pick up number 3.
30-28 Niagara over Siena. Edwards from the corner. Short on the 3. Scott Knapp the rebound. Knapp and Dwayne Archibald in yesterday's quarterfinal did a nice job from the guard spot, getting rebounds. Knapp saves the ball in the corner. Knapp had 6 rebounds, Archibald 10. Talk about the rebounding numbers. Siena ball. When you've got guards coming off the bench combining for 16 rebounds, that is always obviously going to help you out.
And you have guards coming off the bench, 6'7", 6'8", 6'6", that can make threes and rebound the basketball and also post you up. Stewart's done a great job controlling tempo, and that's the other Stewart.
DeMond and Isaiah. Isaiah leads Siena with 11 points so far today. DeMond Stewart's got 7. Terry Edwards out. There you see the leading scorers. Dieters, Archibald, Osinski, Knapp, and Berman on the floor for the Saints. Knapp, the floater, good. Scott Knapp with his first 2 of the game. Peter Strobel into the game for the first time, and he was fouled by Knapp. 30 apiece. Peter Strobel just into the game for the first time. Senior tri-captain from Los Angeles. 16 foul against Siena, and the first against Scott Knapp.
So Scott Knapp, normally a 3-point shooter, showing he could take guys off the bounce, and that's another little added extra he has added to his game.
Darryl Green, 15 points already. He scored nearly half of Niagara's points. snap, pick and roll with Berman. Dieter's pass. Out of the reach of Dwayne Archbold. Turnover back to the Purple Eagles.
Doug, Darrell Green is a great story coming out of high school. As a senior, he played behind Joe Forte and Keith Bogans, who went to Carolina and Kentucky. He didn't play many minutes for DeMatha, but Joe Mihalik certainly found himself a gem.
Talk about your most improved players in the MAAC. He might be it from his freshman to sophomore year. Meanwhile, Shea Cohen at 6'8", 240 with a little finger roll.
How about that shot? Going right, throwing it up left-handed off the wrong foot. You do whatever it takes, Doug.
Dave Dieters had to change his shot from the high post. Nice defense by Bernowski. Niagara with possession. This is Niagara's biggest lead of the game. Cohen, offensive rebound. Back to Darrell Green from way downtown. Little bit out of his range that time.
Now Darrell, after that consecutive segment offensively, Joe Mihalik's on the floor. he's out there saying, get him an ice pack for that shoulder.
Joe Mihalik just had to laugh. The coaching staff for Niagara having a little fun with it, trying to stop Darrell Green from antagonizing the crowd, but having fun with it. Gotta have fun. Niagara leading by 5, and speaking of the most improved, the Consors 2000 most improved team.
Well, these guys really have tremendously improved from last season. Darrell Brown, he really added that three-point shot to his game, one of the top players in the conference. Thomas Kenny really blossomed the second half of the season. Mario Porter averaged about 5 points a game last year. Boo Lane, a terrific turnaround from last season, led the conference in assists. And Darrell Green, who just threw up that air ball. Aside from that shot,
he's improved.
He's improved.
Well, 15 points so far here today to lead all scorers. All right, meanwhile, Glenn, this week's Did You Know feature is brought to you by Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC. And did you know the last men's basketball team to receive an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament? Well, it was 5 years ago. The Manhattan Jaspers, under Fran Fraschilla, made it into the NCAAs and won their first-round ball game.
Oklahoma.
Not a bad little win. Niagara hoping that it will be a representative of the MAAC here in 2000 to the NCAA tournament. It'll either be Niagara, Siena, Fairfield, or Iona going to the big dance. We'll find it all out tomorrow night in the MAAC championship. It'll tip off here at the Pepsi Arena at 7 o'clock, and somebody will join the 3 teams that have already made it into the NCAA. 3 teams made it yesterday. Samford's in. Penn's in. And there's one other. I saw the late Sports Center after we got out of here last night. 3 teams have made it in. Mike Foss in the truck, our producer, trying to help me out, jogging my memory. Winthrop. Thank you very much. Winthrop out of the Big South.
Greg Marshall does a great job at Winthrop the last 2 years. That's 2 years straight making it to the NCAAs. Congratulations to Greg.
Niagara with a basketball, 5-point lead. Stewart on Stewart. The best offensive guard in the league pulls up short, facing the rebound. Pass to Canamesa ahead of him, saved by Isaiah Stewart.
Niagara sitting back in that 2-3 zone, extending it out a little bit. Damon Stewart coming out top of the key, before the guards were right around the foul line.
Dieter's on the baseline, cross court to Canamesa. Archbold, a 2-point jumper. It's good. Right foot was on the line. Siena back within 3.
That's good ball movement by Siena. Good ball movement creates openings. The ball went inside to out, around the perimeter. That's how you attack a zone.
Fans here in Albany have picked up the air ball chant every time Darrell Green touches the ball. Here it is again. And he answers right back. Boy, that's a big-time shot from a big-time player.
And he profiled a little bit coming back with a little communication back to the fans saying, lay off the air ball chant.
I guess that's out of his system now. 18 points already for Darrell Green. As we take another look, we've got a timeout here in Albany. Darrell Green, 18 points, and the Purple Eagles with a 6-point lead. We'll be back with more MAAC basketball after this.
What are you looking for in a college? Cutting-edge academic programs, a faculty that's second to none? Great recreational opportunities and residence halls? How about a college that will provide you with the education you need to become a leader in your profession and in your community? If that's what you're looking for in a college, you'll find it at Canisius. To learn more about Canisius College, call 1-800-843-1517 or visit us on the web at canisius.edu. Canisius College, where leaders are made.
Niagara 38, Siena 32. 6:56 left to go in the first half. Here at the Pepsi Arena in Albany, first of our two semifinal games. Doug Sherman along with Glenn Consor. Fans, the winners of the New York Lottery MAAC Scholar Athlete Award, Corey Osinski from Siena and Megan Coleman from Niagara. Both 3.62 GPAs. Osinski's an English major from Schenectady, New York. Coleman, a human resources major from Binghamton. The New York Lottery will provide new computers to Jefferson Elementary School in Rotterdam, New York, and Brookside Elementary in Binghamton on behalf of Osinski and Coleman. The award is based on GPA, community participation, and good sportsmanship. The New York Lottery, supporting education since 1967, salutes Osinski and Coleman for their achievements.
Doug, I think the storyline this game is, take a look at that. 4 second chance opportunities by Siena, only 3 offensive rebounds. Niagara doing a fabulous job on the boards.
Darryl Green gives it up to Damon Stewart with the slam.
Hey, Doug, this is a good one. Niagara's playing with great intensity.
8-point Niagara lead, its biggest of the game.
Osinski quiet, hasn't scored yet. Zone working nicely. Now they're going a little bit more of a matchup zone out top, Doug. Look how high out Damon Stewart is as he defends Isaiah Stewart. No relation.
Isaiah Stewart, the pull-up, long, and a rebounding foul against Dwayne Archbold.
Darryl Green, 18 points, Doug. 4 from 6 from 3. He is on fire.
And let's go over and hear from Howard what the Siena perspective is right now on Damon Stewart.
Well, I'll tell you what, they were talking a little bit about Darryl Green. You guys were just touching on it. And Paul Hewitt telling his players, hey, here's the deal. Obviously, Green's having a good game. When he gets the ball in, trap him right away. Force him to make that pass, give up the ball, then get into denial on Darryl Green. He said, hey, the pace is good, guys, but he spent a lot of time talking about trying to shut down Green. Back over to you.
Well, at the free throw line, he came up short that time, but Green with 18 points. 40-32 Niagara. Canamesa off the mark. Shea Cohen the rebound. Boy, Cohen really provides a different aspect inside for Niagara that we didn't see early in the year when he was hurt. Dobrich misses the 3. There's Cohen again on the offensive glass.
Oh, he's just moving Cantamesa to every spot on the floor he wants, kind of like as if he was a magnet, and he's just going to the glass so hard. Cohen's got that big upper body. He also looks about 48 years old.
Backdoor pass, Canamesa tried to go to the reverse, and he was fouled by Cohen.
Watch how Cohen just moves Cantamesa out of the way, and he just attacks the glass. And this is where Niagara is staying in this game. He gets inside position on Cohen. Look at this. Moves him out of the way, goes up strong like Cantamesa wasn't even there.
Shea Cohen now with 6 points. It's been a quiet start to the game for Jim Canamesa, 6'8" senior from Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. He led the conference in free throw shooting this year and in three-point shooting percentage. A real dead eye. There's Michael Berman back in. Terry Edwards has come back for Niagara.
Canamesa is one of these guys that causes matchup problems for every team in the league. 6'9", he makes threes. Not really a low post player at 6'9", more of a perimeter player.
85% from the line on the year, 46% on three-pointers, and Glenn, that's actually a drop-off for him. He hits nearly half of his three-point attempts. 2 years ago as a sophomore, he led the country in that category.
He's a fabulous outside shooter. Really, if he squares up, it's automatic.
Pressure broken, Damon Stewart. He is so quick off the dribble. The fade. Cohen, another offensive rebound. Knapp gets it. 42-34 Niagara, 5.5 minutes to go in the first half. Whistle off the ball. Shea Cohen called for the foul. He and Berman were banging underneath.
Shea Cohen, an interesting story. An Israeli ending up in junior college in Texas. He picks up the foul inside.
The old usual pipeline from Jerusalem to Texas.
To a junior college in Texas, and then ending up in a Catholic school upstate New York.
Green the rebound off the Berman miss. Damon Stewart drives on Isaiah Stewart, who blocks his shot. Comes back out. Darrell Green, top of the key, hits the three, and he was fouled by Canamesa. Darrell Green with 21 points already and a chance for a 4-point play. Now Green's career high, 31 points, in serious jeopardy. He did that here at the Pepsi Arena back on January 17th against Siena.
He's playing with so much confidence right now. Darrell Green on fire. He's going to take every shot in his range, and that range is around 35 feet and in. Expect him to keep shooting, Doug.
He's also terrific from the line, 5th in the conference in free throw shooting at over 80%. 22 for Green. This also speaks volumes that he's a sophomore tri-captain. Talks about his leadership.
Both him and Stewart, second team all MAAC players, maybe making a little bit of a statement.
Isaiah Stewart down the paint. Shot blocked by Damon Stewart. Personal foul, though, called against Niagara. And it goes against Peter Strobel.
Number 21, Peter Strobel, his first person.
Strobel's a grad student at Niagara, all MAAC academic team. That's his first personal, and the 9th against Niagara. Stewart shooting 2. He was in the act of shooting.
Doug, everyone talks about Siena's defense and how they press for 40 minutes, but the guy that really creates so many opportunities for Siena defensively is Isaiah Stewart, one of the best perimeter on-ball defenders in the league. He really gets deflections. He takes charges. Scott Knapp takes a seat, and Villafane.
Isaiah Stewart with 13 points to lead Siena. The Saints down by 10. Bernowski passed it away. That time the pressure for Siena causing a turnover. Canamesa back in for James Clinton. A lot of the substitutions Paul Hewitt does, offense, defense. Clinton goes out, and Hewitt tells him to sit right at the end of the bench. You're going to be going right back in.
It's nice to have that luxury to have 12 guys that you can rotate in and out like that.
Berman strong to the rack. Canamesa couldn't save it. It's back over to Niagara. The Purple Eagles lead the top seeds from Siena by 10.
You know, Doug, after that first 5-6 minute stretch, we really haven't seen much inside from Siena. I still think they need to go inside first, then rely on outside shooting. Also, Siena now not getting many points off their defense. Normally they're the type of team that creates turnovers, havoc, gets deflections, and then they go down into the transition game and score hoops.
It's been Niagara getting more easy baskets, and the great outside shooting and inside penetration of this man, Darrell Green, from 13 feet. This time he doesn't get the roll, but another offensive rebound. Nate Bernowski this time. .12 Niagara lead.
You know, you look at the statistics this game. 3-point shooting, offensive rebounding. You'd have to rub your eyes because you think it would be Siena up top, but it's not. Niagara just hammering Siena on the offensive boards and making 3-point shots.
James Clinton with a strong drive on the baseline. Pressure broken. Terry Edwards with it. Back to Bernowski. Traveled on the up fake. And we've got a timeout. 3 minutes, 32 seconds left. And the number 5 seed from Niagara giving the number 1 seeds from Siena all they can handle. You're watching the MAAC Television Network. Niagara 48, Siena 38. 3.5 minutes to go here in the first half from Albany. Doug Sherman, Glenn Consor, Howard Simon with you. And fans, this reminder that MAAC Championships coming up. If you'd like to go down to Disney and see these, call Anthony Travel at 1-800-736-6377. You've got golf, you've got cross country coming up later this year. Visit their website, anthonytravel.com. We send it now to Howard.
Hey guys, Siena fans might be having some bad flashbacks right now. The game here, this regular season game, Darryl Green had a career-high 31. He's at 22 right now. Think back to last season, Doug. You and I worked the game. Alvin Young came in here and lit the building up. He had 44 points. That turned out to be the win that gave Niagara the top seed for the tournament. So it's a different guard from last season, but a similar story here at the Pepsi Arena for Niagara. Back over to you.
Thank you, Howard. And yes, I do recall that. And it is amazing how this Niagara backcourt has been restocked, and they haven't missed a beat. Alvin Young, Jeremiah Johnson last year, the top scoring backcourt in the conference. They're both gone through graduation. Darryl Green steps up as a sophomore. Damon Stewart, a transfer. And now they are the top scoring backcourt duo in the MAAC.
And Damon Stewart is a great story. Nice shot that time by Archibald, a missing component to the Siena offense. But Damon Stewart coming from Division II Mercyhurst, sitting out last year as Alvin Young led the nation in scoring. He comes in and leads the nation for about 15 games in scoring from Niagara as well.
Faison called in the reach-in. Darryl Green will go to the line to shoot 1-1.
And that statistic is astonishing. Niagara just owning Siena on the offensive board. Second chance opportunity, just pounding the glass. Unusual, unexpected.
The Siena student section at the end of the court that Darryl Green is shooting toward continues to chant air ball because of his only miss of the day, I think. He has 23 points already. And the one shot that he missed badly was about a 28-foot pull-up shot that he shot an air ball on. Everything else has been money.
I'll tell you what else is impressive with his game. He's got 24 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and no turnovers against the pressure of Siena.
Timeout called with 2:45 left to go, and Niagara leading by 9. Some members of the Niagara women's basketball team staying around here in Albany, rooting on the Niagara men. And there you see the 2001 MAAC tournament will be back in Buffalo. Both the men and the women will be at the Marine Midland Arena from March 1st through the 5th, exactly 1 year from now. For more information, call 716-855-4444, extension 82. Osinski, Faison, Cantamesa, Isaiah Stewart, and James Clinton come back out for Siena. Green, Bernowski, Damon Stewart, Strobel, and Villafane on the floor for the Purple Eagles.
Niagara has a nice international flavor on this team. Villafane, Christos DeFudis, Shea Cohen from Israel,
and Peter Strobel from Los Angeles.
Darryl Green from Maryland.
Another world all to itself. Isaiah Stewart, he's got 16 points. The point guards are dominating these. We haven't really talked about, Glenn, the knee of Marcus Faison, the top offensive weapon for the Saints. He's been playing with a knee brace on after a week ago today. Have things ready to go, and we'll resume this MAAC semifinal. Niagara leading by 6 on the MAAC Television Network. Oh, no. We will hear about that. So we're in a break indefinitely. We're not really sure. We're just waiting to hear from league officials and arena officials, and obviously the guys in the stripes waiting. Everybody's just waiting to see what will happen. But again, you talked about this, Glenn. This happens from time to time. Every winter we have, power outages around the country. This will certainly make SportsCenter tonight, and this will really impact the game. I mean, this will wind up being a second break. You got halftime in 2 minutes and 10 seconds, but right now the perspiration's drying, the hot hands are cooling off, and this really could have an impact with Niagara leading by 6.
Well, it either can or it might not, because one of the things that could happen here, Niagara is not a deep team. So what this also does is it gives them a little bit more of a break and lets them maybe take it a little bit easy now. But the thing you got to remember is the intensity level, how focused Niagara was. They're going to have to be able to maintain that once the lights go back on. And you talked about how Darryl Green shot the lights out, 5 for 7 from 3. 7 more points will tie his career high of 31 points. One more three-pointer will also tie his career three-point prowess. So Darryl Green really is hot. Not only did he shoot the lights out here, probably shot the lights out in the city of Albany.
Whole Albany County. I have to get Mike Breslin, the county executive, back from yesterday and see what he has to say. Well, you see the standings from the regular season brought to you by Citizens Communications, and Niagara tied Marist for 4th place because of the tiebreaker. The Red Foxes were the higher seed, but the Red Foxes are home, while the Purple Eagles are here in the semifinals, leading the top-seeded Siena Saints, who at 21-7, you've got to imagine, if the Saints don't win this tournament tomorrow, they've done enough already to get an NIT bid. What do you think about that, Glenn?
Oh, no question about it. They've had some good non-conference wins. They knocked off GW, a team that had some fabulous non-conference wins themselves. GW this year knocked off Maryland and Seton Hall, Clemson. Siena took care of GW at GW.
The same week GW knocked off Maryland. We take a look at some of the scores from earlier in the tournament yesterday, starting with the women on the scoreboard, brought to you by Mazda. Get in, be moved. And that women's championship will be coming up tonight, scheduled for 5:30 here at the Pepsi Arena between the top 2 seeds, the Fairfield Stags, who beat Siena yesterday, and the Peahens of St. Peter's, who beat Loyola 66-41. No surprise, Diane Nolan's team and Mike Grinelli's team, the 2 veteran coaches on the women's side of the conference, will be squaring off head-to-head for the ladies. Meanwhile, the men's quarterfinals, Luke Dobrich for Niagara comes over. We understand Darryl Green's responsible
shot
for
the
this.
lights out,
shot
right?
the lights out.
Darryl shot the lights out?
All right, we'll take another break as the commissioner talks to the 2 coaches. Everybody just in a holding pattern, waiting for the power to come back. You're watching the MAAC Television Network. We are at the half, sort of our first MAAC semifinal. Niagara leading Siena 50-44. The 2000 HSBC MAAC basketball tournament has been interrupted. Welcome back, everybody. Doug Sherman along with Glenn Consor. A power outage, not just here at the arena, but throughout the city of Albany, apparently has knocked us in the dark. And with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in the first half, the league commissioner got together with the 2 coaches and the referees and decided to take the halftime break now. And what they're going to do with the players back in the locker room now, come back out when the power comes back on, start with action for the final 2 minutes and 10 seconds, take a break, switch sides, and then play the second half. So really we've got another 22 minutes and 10 seconds worth of basketball coming up after this break that we have here.
It's kind of going to be like a schoolyard game right after the halftime break. They're going to switch sides and just keep going.
Well,
we're not going to miss much.
We'll take another break. Crazy things happening here at the MAAC tournament in Albany. You're watching the MAAC Television Network.
I know most of you just graduated high school last year, or maybe you've been working for a while, seen some things, done some things, but nothing has prepared you for what's going to happen now. We're going to set goals for each of you, way up here, way up here, and then we're going to help you exceed them, believe it. And when finished, you're going to have not just a degree, you'll be a different person, a better person. Welcome to Iona.
Aspire, achieve. Iona. Call Iona College at 1-800-231-IONA.
This game is brought to you in part by Mazda. Get in, be moved. The New York Lottery. New York Lotto. Will you be ready if it happens to you? Continental Airlines. Work hard, fly right. Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC. Chase Manhattan Bank, the right relationship is everything. Bob Stores, great buys on brands you wear. And by smallworld.com, the largest independent developer of online fantasy sports games. Welcome back, everybody, to the Pepsi Arena here in Albany. We are at the half, sort of our MAAC semifinal between Siena and Niagara. My name is Doug Sherman, and I'm joined by the conference commissioner, Rich Enser, and Rob Hayes from the New York Lottery for our special presentation here today at halftime between the Purple Eagles and the Saints. Now, this year's two award winners for the New York Lottery MAAC Scholar Athlete are Megan Coleman of Niagara, who is unable to be here, and Corey Osinski of Siena College. Now accepting on behalf of Corey, who is in the locker room, his parents, the Osinskis, congratulations. And since Megan couldn't be here, we've got the athletic director from Niagara University, Mike Herman, to accept on behalf of Megan. The New York Lottery MAAC Scholar Athlete is based on GPA, community service, and sportsmanship. Coleman is a human resources major with a 3.62 grade point average. Osinski also with a 3.62 grade point average at Siena. He is an English major. Once again, congratulations to all. How about a nice round of applause for our student athletes, brought to you by the New York Lottery. We'll take a break, and when we come back, more halftime festivities here at the Pepsi Arena in Albany. Siena trailing Niagara 50-44. Welcome back at the half. Niagara 50, Siena 44. We still have 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in the first half, but because of a power outage, they changed the halftime. We'll have the 22 minutes and 10 seconds when the two teams come back out on the floor. And in the meantime, let's send it over to Howard Simon, standing by with the MAAC commissioner, to explain exactly what's going on. Howard?
Yeah, guys, so you want to be a conference commissioner? It's a lot of fun, except at times like this. Rich, what happened?
Well, there was a transformer that blew outside the building in the Albany County area, and the whole county went down for a short time period. Of course, with the lighting system in the arena, once it trips, it takes about 8 to 10 minutes to re-up it. So we talked to the coaches, and there was another slight flutter in the system that after it had gone up for about a minute, it went back down. So between the coaches and the officials, we agreed that it was best to go this route.
So now you guys, they'll come back, you'll finish the first half, and then what?
Yeah, they're going to come out after a 15-minute normal halftime period. They're going to play the remainder of the first half, shooting on the same first half baskets. We'll then take a TV timeout, which is about 3 minutes, and they'll switch sides and sstart the second half.
All right, Rich, thanks for coming over.
No problem, Howard.
Rich Enser, commissioner of the MAAC, and that's the explanation, and we should get basketball going again sometime soon, guys. I'll send it back over to you for the rest of the first half and then the second half, I guess.
Yeah, something like that, Howard. All right, we'll figure it out as we go. Meanwhile, the first half stats, quote-unquote, brought to you by Citizens Communications. And, boy, second chance points really been the difference, along with the shooting and scoring of Darryl Green.
Oh, no question about it. Darryl Green really lighting it up, 24 points. But more importantly, Niagara has been controlling the pace of this game. Normally when you play Siena, Siena puts up more shots. It's not the case today. Second chance points, they're just dominating the offensive glass. And more importantly, Siena getting nothing off their defense. They have no steals. That's been the difference.
All right, the two teams are back out on the floor. The lights are back on. We'll take a break and come back with more basketball. What do you know? MAAC semifinal action. The Purple Eagles lead the Saints on the MAAC television network. Niagara 50, Siena 44 at the intermission. Not really halftime, the intermission of our first semifinal of the Pepsi 2000 HSBC MAAC basketball tournament. Joe Mihalik's Purple Eagles with a great last 10 minutes before the power went out to grab the lead by 6. Siena had a mini run just before the power went out to pull it back to 6. It had been a double-figure lead for the Purple Eagles. But once again, we will play 2 minutes and 10 seconds here. Paul Hewitt Saints. And they will play until they get to that 2:10 mark. Then they will call for the official timeout, the midpoint, the halftime. We'll have a 3-minute TV timeout. They'll switch ends of the court, and then we'll play the final 20 minutes. Nate Bernowski, Peter Strobel, Darryl Green, Damon Stewart, and Terry Edwards on the floor for Niagara. Jim Canamesa, Isaiah Stewart, Marcus Faison, Dave Dieters, and Corey Osinski for the Saints of Siena, the top seeds in the tournament. Niagara, the number 5 seed.
Straight man by Siena. Isaiah Stewart really trying to tighten up the grip on Darryl Green, who's trying to take it to him. That time, offensive charge. Travel. Correction, he traveled as he went to the basket. Slipped, actually.
Dave Dieters into Corey Osinski, who's scoreless until now.
He had no rebounds and no points up to that shot, Doug.
Now we just had his parents on the floor accepting on his behalf at the intermission the New York Lottery's Scholar Athlete of the Year award. Edwards called for the foul as Osinski went to the deck. That's a big foul against Edwards, his 3rd. So he and Christos DeFoutis and Shea Cohen, 3 of the big inside forces for Niagara with 3 fouls apiece.
It forces Joe Mihalik to now use Christos DeFoutis and take Edwards out of the game. One of the things Joe Mihalik has to be careful about, Edwards really voiced his opinion about that. You don't want to pick up any technical fouls right now.
Siena played an emotionally charged quarterfinal yesterday, and Corey Osinski was in the middle of a couple of things, and in this game, right off the bat, got upset with an official. Paul Hewitt called him out immediately, and again, trying to keep things in check.
It's a good move by Mihalik, taking out Edwards now with 3, and of course, like you said, Doug, we still have about 1:24 left in the first half.
Before our official halftime. So we've got 21 and change in terms of minutes left in this game, and Strobel travels. Siena back within 3 with the basketball. So initial returns on the power outage is that Niagara has come out cooled off. Consecutive turnovers on offensive possessions. Dieters had it deflected. Osinski backing down, back out to Faison. Off the mark. Niagara rebound, Bernowski dribbling up. Here's Damon Stewart on Isaiah Stewart. Count the basket in 1. Isaiah whistled for the personal.
That's a good call by the official. The last 2 segments down, Niagara should have gotten the ball into Damon Stewart's hands, and instead they just turned it over. Stewart in the transition game does a nice job taking it right to Stewart. Let's see if he holds position. Ooh, could have went either way. Tough call.
I thought Isaiah was still shifting a little bit. Thought it was a good call. Damon can't hit the free throw. Back to a 5-point Niagara lead. 50 seconds left in the half.
Niagara still sitting back in their 3-2 matchup zone.
Isaiah Stewart leads all Siena, scores with 16 points. 30 seconds in the half, 10 seconds on the shot clock. When in doubt, fire it up, no good, and we've got another rebounding foul against Niagara. This time Peter Strobel called for the push. On Strobel, that's his 2nd, so that's another big guy inside. For Niagara, picking up more fouls, and Villafante will check in at the next break. Both teams now in the double bonus, and Dave Dieters, an 83% foul shooter, will shoot 2. Joe Mihalik, the Niagara coach, yelled 1-and-1. He thought it was a 1-and-1, and that's why you had the delayed reaction. All of a sudden, everybody jumped in the lane thinking it was an official saying it was a 1-and-1. But indeed, it was a 2-shot foul because of the double bonus. And so Dieters will get another. James Clinton replaces Jim Canamesa on another offense-defense substitution for Paul Hewitt. Damon Stewart and Corey Osinski stepped into the paint early. Stewart gets whistled for the lane violation. He was pointing at Osinski. Larry Lembo was pointing at Stewart.
Stewart looks like his right foot stepped into the lane as soon as Dieters put it up. You have to wait till the ball hits the rim before you get in the lane.
It's kind of like the old NBA in the 70s, 3 to make 2. Peters used 3 to make 1. And Siena's back within 4. Demond Stewart holds. Niagara can wait for the last shot of the half. Green guarded by Faison. Here's Stewart on Stewart. 5 seconds left in the half. Demond, a little separation in the fade. Nothing but net. That is the half. We will take a break and come back with the start of the second half. Just a short break. Don't go away. The second half only moments away. Niagara with the lead on Siena. You're watching the MAAC Television Network. We're ready for the start of the second half. Niagara 54, Siena 48. We've got a quick look at our first half highlights, starting with the man of the hour, Darryl Green.
Darryl Green seeing red in the first half, making all his three-point shots. Demond Stewart was terrific in the transition game, also breaking down a half-court set. A little too much celebrating from Stewart. He's playing like a man possessed. So you have no time to celebrate, because if you do, Siena will beat you down with their big guys.
After the power outage, those last 2 minutes and 10 seconds of the first half were even. 4-4, so no advantage gained on either side. You see the leading scores as we begin the second half, 54-48 Niagara.
Very surprised that Siena is not attacking the zone via the baseline.
They've switched ends of the court.
See, Doug, this is what has been impressive from Niagara's standpoint. One shot and Siena is done. They're doing a nice job on the defensive glass. Darryl Green
closing in on his career high. That's 27. He had 31 the last time the Purple Eagles were here in Albany against Siena. And Joe Mihalik, plenty of reason to smile. His backcourt doing what he is used to seeing them do. Put up points.
Joe Mihalik saying, Darryl, do me a favor. Please do not stop shooting. Paul Hewitt, great timeout from Siena's standpoint. They really need to discuss how to get up in Darryl's face early outside the three-point line. They got to pick him up earlier.
Well, let's check out the MAAC hockey standings. Quinnipiac on top, Fairfield on the bottom. Lots going on in between. And, well, the pairings for the tournament coming up. You see it, brought to you by Mazda. Get in, be moved, and that tournament will be the 2000 Easton MAAC Hockey League Championship, March 16th and 18th at the University of Connecticut Ice Arena in Stores, Connecticut. All session passes $10 a piece. Great price. Call 1-877 at UConn. Back to hoops, Marcus Faison. 1 minute gone here in the second half. Isaiah Stewart with a lefty move. 18 points for Siena's starting point guard. 7-point Niagara lead. Purple Eagles with a basketball and a double dribble called against Bernowski.
See, the pressure just wears you down eventually. They throw different looks at you. That time it was a man-to-man press. Normally Siena coming out with a 2-2-1. You have to back up, assess what you have, see what the defense is, and then attack.
Still, though, Glenn, just the 7th turnover by Niagara. Inside, Dieters on the reverse. From the feed from Faison.
See, Doug, that's what I'm talking about. Attack the Niagara zone from the baseline. You got guys like Dieters, Cantor Mesa, Faison that can really play that baseline well.
Edwards answers with a 3. Terry Edwards with his first field goal of the day. 8-point Niagara lead. Dieters on the baseline. Isaiah Stewart guarded by Bernowski. Into the corner, Cantor Mesa for 3. Short. Edwards had the rebound go off his fingertips out of bounds.
Well, Cantor Mesa has had 3 or 4 wide open looks that normally are layups for him from 3, just not putting them down.
Dieters out of the game, replaced by Dwayne Archbold. Corey Osinski got himself free on the inbound for 2. Osinski with 5 points. Siena back within 6. Darryl Green, guarded by Archbold. Green still with it, puts up the runner. Faison the one-handed rebound. Faison seems to have better mobility here today than he did yesterday off of that knee injury. Goes to the left hand but missed. Damon Stewart and Corey Osinski got tied up, and it'll be Niagara ball on the alternate possession.
Siena has done a nice job of attacking the zone in many different ways. One, option A, off the dribble. Two, the baseline game. Dieter's playing peekaboo on the baseline. And three, just going behind the defense with guys like Osinski and Dieters. That's one of the ways to break down the Niagara zone. And once that happened, Doug, they're going to start making three-point shots. Siena's an excellent three-point shooting team.
The Futis hits from the free throw line with all that good execution against the zone. Siena still trailed by 8. The Futis with his first field goal of the game. Facing on the baseline, shovel pass, Archbold, missed it. Osinski offensive rebound. Lefty way, count the basket in one. Osinski had no points before the power went out, and he's got 7 since.
That's Osinski's game. Blue collar, just hitting the offensive glass. Look, he's the one that keeps it alive. Then he follows up, gets the second offensive rebound to the left hand, gets the foul.
Keep in mind inside, Glenn, Niagara's got a boatload of foul trouble. Cohen has 3, DeFutis has 3, Edwards has 3. Make that 4 now on DeFutis.
And I like what Paul Hewitt is doing defensively. Darryl Green, obviously the hot man today. He's running different guys at Green to try to wear him down. One of the things that he's doing is he initially put Isaiah Stewart on him, number 2, then he put Archibald on him, and then he's going to put Scott Knapp on him. When you have that luxury of rotating different guys on one player, eventually that one guy will wear down.
Terry Edwards ripped the rebound away from Scott Knapp. Bernowski quick inside Cohen. Damon Stewart guarded by Isaiah Stewart. Just over 3 minutes gone here in the second half. Jump pass Edwards, open for 3. Off the mark. Damon Stewart the rebound. Another fresh set for the Purple Eagles. Darryl Green hits it. That's a new personal career high with his 7th three-pointer. He is 7 for 9 on threes today. 30 points.
Paul Hewitt's going to have to get a fire extinguisher to put him out.
Osinski to the paint, blocking foul against Edwards. Osinski to the line to shoot 2. That's the second team foul on Niagara, and again that's number 4 on Edwards. Cohen 3 fouls, DeFutis 4, and now Edwards with 4.
How about that game? 30 points, and we got a long way to go. 16 minutes left in the second half. He can get 50. This is reminiscent of the Calvin Murphy Niagara days right here.
Well, he's scored 31 points a couple of times in the season opener against the University of Buffalo. And then here at the Pepsi against Siena on January 17th.
Where foul trouble, Doug, becomes a problem for Niagara. The reason it is because they are not a deep team right now. They only go about 7 deep and 8 deep. And right now, with all those guys in foul trouble, even with this lead, it will be an issue.
Even more of the scoring burden falls on the backcourt for Niagara. Cohen guarded by Osinski, Siena in a man-to-man.
No one stepping to the ball. We got to go out and help Cohen.
Luke Dobridge finally did. Darryl Green off for Stewart. Really a 4-guard set now for Niagara. Bernowski a swing man. Shot clock under 10. Just over 4 minutes gone here in the second half. Stewart blocked by Clinton. Cohen picks it up. An air ball. Bernowski tipped it in before the shot clock went off.
You got to be kidding me with that shot by Bernowski.
That's the hoop of the game.
He caught it with one hand and just went right up. It didn't even hit rim.
Little shot put. Osinski. Up and in. Quick timeout called by Siena. That's 11 quick points for Osinski. I've never seen a shot like this before. Let's take another look at
he's got a great feel for the ball. And watch this shot by Cohen. Throws up a Scud missile. Bernowski just catches it with one hand and throws it up right before the buzzer. And there's the number 1 signal saying, I could do that anytime I want.
That was the hot potato. And like you said, the horn was going off for the shot clock as he released. So not only a good shot, but heads up to know that he had no time to catch and shoot. Just had to tip it back up and in. Nate Bernowski now with 8 points, senior from McMurray, Pennsylvania. He had 12 points in the quarterfinals yesterday against Marist. One of the tri-captains for the Purple Eagles. Well, the MAAC is heading into championship season. And you see in the spring, a little bit later on in May, going to be at Marist for baseball and softball. Just before that in April at Fairfield, lacrosse and rowing at Fairfield, tennis at the Concord. And boy, those golfers, they are going to be in good shape in April down at Disney. Well, to find more out about MAAC basketball, you can go online and check out the new conference website at MAACsports.com. It's updated regularly, and you can find out all the information you want about the Siena Saints, the Niagara Purple Eagles, all your favorite teams and players at MAACsports.com.
Boy, this is a great example just how dominant the Niagara guards have been this season, Doug. These two guys have really carried this Niagara team all season. Stewart, Green, one of these point guards. Not only does he distribute, obviously he can make threes and score.
Bernowski from the corner. Hits for three. 11 for Bernowski. It's a 10-point Niagara lead. Archbold misses the pull-up. It comes back to the sophomore point guard. Isaiah Stewart sets up. Knapp guarded by Dobrich. Isaiah Stewart with the fade from the baseline. He's had the touch all game long, and he leads Siena with 20 points. 70-62 Niagara. James Clinton now in the game with a defensive assignment on Damon Stewart, who on a switch finds himself open. And he hits. 16 for Stewart. James Clinton gets into the act and misses badly. Darryl Green open for three. Missed that one. Clinton rips it away from Cohen.
Got away with a travel right there on the pass. You can't shuffle your feet like that.
This looks like a street game now. Archbold will go to the line for two. Running, gunning, banging, and lots of points going up on the board. At this pace, again, we're going to wind up in the 110s and 120s.
You know, Paul Hewitt is scratching his head right now because this game is going completely the opposite from the way you scout a team. Darryl Green normally doesn't put up 30 points in 20 minutes. Damon Stewart, you think, is going to score. He's playing his basic game, but you got guys like Dobrich making shots, Shea Cohen pounding the boards, Bernowski, not normally a three-point shooter. He's making three-point shots this game. So this is an example how you don't pay attention to the scouting report sometimes. You just got to react during games.
Archbold gets the roll out of Robeson High School. You see Edwards, one of the men in foul trouble, sitting on the bench for Niagara. Mason and Osinski replace Isaiah Stewart and Scott Knapp. Meanwhile, Bernowski's gone out of the game for Niagara. Peter Strobel back in. Archbold makes them both, and we've got ourselves a timeout. In this first of two MAAC semifinals at the Pepsi Arena in Albany, Joe Mihalik's Purple Eagles lead it. You're watching the MAAC Television Network. Back in Albany, Siena trailing Niagara 73-64 early in the second half of our MAAC semifinal. The 1999-2000 Chase MAAC Men's Players of the Week in order. Beginning back in December, Darrell Brown, Nakia Miller, Darryl Green, Ricky Bellinger, Nakia Miller again, Darren Phillip twice. Page 2. Darren Phillip, Brown, Kirksey, Fenn, Faison, Stewart, Kenny, and Stewart. They are our, in order, MAAC Men's Players of the Week. Thank you to Chase. Chase, the right relationship is everything. And the statistics, you know, on Classic Sports Network late last night after I got home, I had to see more hoops. I saw Loyola Marymount playing against LSU in the early 90s. It's that kind of game with that many shots going up.
Yeah, we're going to need some Ben Gay after this game to rub down some elbows and shoulders. But I think the storyline in this game is the great job that Niagara is doing on the defensive glass. Only 4 offensive rebounds for Siena. That's such a tremendous job on the defensive glass. Also, Siena getting no points off their defense. We haven't seen one transition fast break by Siena, a team that lives in the transition.
Shot clock at 3. Cohen fires up a shot to hit only the top of the backboard. Marcus Faison lost the dribble, has to pull it out. Canamesa open for 3. Osinski on the offensive glass. And the putback. Osinski, since the power outage, has been unstoppable. That's all 13 of his points coming since the lights went out.
Both Osinski and Stewart are carrying Siena on their back, keeping them in the game. Stewart from the outside and Osinski on the offensive boards.
Green guarded by Archbold. DeMond Stewart. Clinton got out nicely to get a hand in the face. Dobrich after it. And it'll be Niagara ball.
One constant has to be intensity in Osinski's game, and he's got it here. Look how strong he goes up. No one laying a body on him. Cohen got there way too late. And that's been a missing component from Siena's game, hitting the offensive glass and getting those second chance opportunities. Osinski is the only guy doing it.
Villafanier back in.
We haven't seen it from Faison. We haven't seen it from Dieters, Cantor Mesa, Clinton.
Glenn, you talked about the lack of a steal in this game for Siena. Marcus Faison is the all-time steals leader in Siena history just this week. Set the record, but again with the bad knee, probably has trouble getting into the passing lane like he typically does. Bernowski for three. Facing the rebound. I also should say that the Niagara guards are taking care of business as well. They have not been sloppy with the basketball.
And the most impressive stat from Darrell Green's standpoint, he only has one turnover this game.
Cantor Mesa missed the three. Bernowski back into the game with a rebound.
Darrell Green has played the whole game. He's got one turnover.
DeMond Stewart. Bernowski offensive rebound. He's triple teamed and brings it back out. Green with a deep three. Over the back, Villafanier. Cantor Mesa had position. Timeout, 11:34 to go. The Siena Saints trailing the Niagara Purple Eagles by 7. You're watching the MAAC Television Network.
Distinguish yourself at Manhattan College, ranked among the top Northeastern colleges and universities by U.S. News and World Report. Join our caring campus community in Riverdale, New York, where the student-to-professor ratio is 15-to-1. Be part of an impressive group of Manhattan College alumni, ranked 3rd in the nation in corporate leadership. Whether your goal is business, arts, education, engineering, or science, we'll help you show the world what makes you unique. Call 1-800-MC2-EXCEL.
This game is brought to you in part by HSBC, your world of financial services. The Pepsi-Cola Company, the joy of cola. Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC. Budget. Get out of the ordinary with Budget. Chase Manhattan Bank. The right relationship is everything. And by Bob Stores. Great buys on brands you wear. Back in Albany, Siena has taken a 2-point lead with 7:43 to go in this MAAC semifinal. And right before that last time out, here's that sequence again between Shea Cohen and Scott Knapp.
See, Doug, right there the whistle was blown. Shea Cohen just trying to keep it, making a statement. You have to take a step back. Bring your ego out of this thing. You want to make sure you do not pick up any technical fouls. He's doing a fabulous job on the boards, obviously, and he's been a force internally, but you don't want to hurt your team.
Meanwhile, you've got to give Scott Knapp credit. Usually we're talking about his outside shooting, Glenn. In this quarterfinal, or the quarterfinal yesterday, Knapp had 6 rebounds. He has 6 again here today. Usually he's the sniper from the outside. But the diminutive, relative to Cone, guard from VVS High School in the middle, mixing it up.
Niagara experiencing a little fire and ice. They have scored no points in the last 6 minutes, 19 points the previous 6 minutes, and Niagara missed their last 12 shots.
And Cohen's just fouled out.
See, this is where Joe Mihalik has a problem. Looks down his bench, sees DeFutis has fouled out, sees Villafanier there with some fouls as well.
I was mistaken, only his 4th, but the 7th team foul, so number 4 on Cohen.
See, right here he's looking down the bench saying, wait a second.
Yeah, where do I go? James Clinton misses the first.
Asking any of the assistant coaches, Tom Parada, who played at Fordham, his eligibility is over. He's a great player at Fordham.
So now Cohen and Edwards each have 4 fouls. Clinton gets 1 out of 2. minutes left in regulation. 10 seconds on the shot clock as Green forced it up. Foul against Isaiah Stewart. We send it over to Howard Simon.
Hey guys, you were talking about Niagara's front line. I mean, it's been suspect all season, and they certainly don't have a lot of depth. And that last time out, Joe Mahalik telling Terry Edwards, hey, basically, I know you got 4 fouls, but you got to play. He looked over at Damon Stewart. He said, Damon, I know you're tired. You got to get your legs back. You're staying in the game. I can't take you out. He got into his guys, said, you've got to disrupt Siena's offense. They're scoring at will. That was his main message, but he knows he's running into trouble with the foul situation. Back over to you. And fatigue, too.
Couple of good points there, Howard. Thank you. Green hits the first free throw, and that ties his career high with 31 points. Isaiah Stewart goes out.
What a terrific story Darrell Green has been at DeMatha High School. Put out more players probably than any school, Division I players in the nation.
I would imagine so, and NBA guys as well. Siena with a 2-point lead and the basketball. Osinski posting hard underneath with Cohen. Knapp pulls up. The head of the key three, no good. Clinton knocked it out of bounds. Siena, though, gets possession. Apparently Niagara was the last to touch.
Joe Mahalik knows he has a problem because look, when you look at the floor, you can really see how much bigger Siena is than Niagara. Playing this 3-2 zone as well, it's tough to rebound. You got a 3-guard offense out there. 2 guys underneath, that's Cohen and Edwards. Both of those guys around 6'7".
Clinton had it taken away by Damon Stewart. Knapp racing back. Stewart to the hole. Count the basket and one. Fouled by Knapp. We're tied at 76.
Damon Stewart thinking he's the incredible Hulk after every time he scores. See, Knapp's out of position. I'm not too sure he knew what he was doing there defensively. He was kind of caught in between taking the charge and getting out of the way, and right at that moment he picks up the foul, and look at him, Lou Ferrigno.
To me, Bill Bixby. Stewart completes the 3-point play, and the Purple Eagles have retaken the lead. Joe Mahalik loves it. 6:06 left to go in the second. We've got a quick timeout call. We'll keep it here. Well, this is just the first of our 2 semifinals here in Albany. Coming up after this one, the number 2 seed Iona will take on Fairfield. That's scheduled to start at 2:30. Let's take a listen to Joe Mahalik in the huddle.
Also get out to the corners. You got to really, now you're playing defense between your ears and with your feet. That's how you're playing defense down there. It's not a physical thing. Know where the shooters are. 30 is great. 30 is great. Nate's got Knapp. Know where Knapp is. Rebound the ball. Rebound.
There you have it. Bernoski with the assignment on Knapp defensively. Meanwhile, we can show you the MAAC Rookies of the Week, brought to you by Chase Manhattan Bank. As we rattle off the names, I won't list them all like I did the players of the week, but there are the star rookies in the conference. Bruce Seals, the biggest star. He was the Rookie of the Year this season. The Chase MAAC Rookie of the Week, brought to you as always by Chase Manhattan Bank. The right relationship is everything.
Well, you heard Joe Mahalik say 30 is great. That's the 3-2 zone, which has been effective.
And you know that from practicing with them the other day. Stewart airball. Osinski has it. Tipped by Faison up and in.
He's done my hamstrings are still recovering from 2 days ago, going up and down with the Niagara kids.
Timeout, Niagara.
Niagara calls timeout to avoid the turnover.
Terry Edwards, as he was falling out of bounds, Joe Mahalik jumped off the bench and yelled, call the timeout. We can't afford a turnover here with 5:36 left. Niagara down 1, Doug.
I gave credit to Marcus Faison on the last tip-in, but it goes to Jim Canamesa as we take another look. The 2 hands were up there, and was it Canamesa or Faison?
That's a tough call. It looked like both of their hands hit the ball exactly at the same time.
Since Canamesa was more excited, perhaps, with the pump of the fist, he gets the 2. will give Canamesa 8 points. Faison's got 14, Osinski 13, and Isaiah Stewart, who carried the offense early, has 20. For Paul Hewitt Saints.
A distressed Paul Hewitt, not expecting this type of a performance by Niagara. Really strange. You look at the statistics here. Niagara getting up more shots than Siena, getting more steals than Siena, more rebounds than Siena.
Edwards up fake, goes by Osinski, who recovers to hit him on the arm and pick up the personal. Edwards to the line. 2-shot foul.
When Niagara swings the basketball, they're getting open shots. The defense is shifting, and Edwards did a nice job of taking one dribble to the middle of the floor, getting Osinski on his back, just couldn't finish the shot.
Terry Edwards at the line for a 2-shot.
Terry Edwards, 6'7" senior from Dallas. Averages 12.5 points a game. Only a 69% foul shooter as Scott Ness comes back in, replacing Archibald.
You know, Doug, we were talking about Marcus Faison, who is Archibald really is the heir apparent to Marcus Faison. What a great career Faison has had. Unanimous first-team All-MAAC. He's the 6th player in MAAC history to make the first team All-MAAC 3 straight years. Last guy to do it was Mike Powell from Loyola.
Alley-oop lob to Faison, who couldn't connect. And a jump ball, Edwards and Faison. On the arrow, it'll go back the other way to Niagara. Quick timeout called by the Purple Eagles. Terry Edwards displeased about Faison piling on. This copyrighted telecast of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the MAAC and MAAC properties. Glenn, I was just thinking about that last tip-in where Canamesa got credit over Faison. I bet you that's the first time in their 4 years together on a tip-in Canamesa has out-jumped Marcus Faison. That's something he can probably take with him.
Well, I'm not too sure if he did.
All right, but you can say he did if he got credit.
If he got credit for it, you can say he did, but, you know, anybody could really come down pumping their fists and get credit for it. You can hit a jump. You can hit a jumper, and the weak side guard could be doing that. You're not going to give him the points.
Purple Eagles come back out as we take a look at the timeout situation. Siena with 2 remaining, Niagara with 1. This is the first tie since it was 30 apiece way back in the middle of the first half. 5:13 left on the clock in regulation. The winner goes on to the MAAC title game tomorrow night. Nate Bernoski guarded by Isaiah Stewart. Darrell Green to Edwards, open from 20. He hits. 3-point Niagara lead.
Such a nice dish by Green. You saw how much attention Green got when he caught it from 3. Everybody left Edwards wide open.
Into Clinton. Canamesa will go to the line to shoot 2, and if it was on Cohen, now it's his 5th. It appears that it is. Hats off, though, to Shea Cohen. He played a great game doing just this, banging inside.
Canamesa's doing a nice job now, Doug, getting inside position. 2 consecutive segments. He's been able to establish himself on the offensive boards, and that's the element of Canamesa's game that has been missing today. Hitting the offensive boards. What a great job Shea Cohen has done this game. Really a terrific job on the boards. Just his intensity.
And only a sophomore, Glenn. 2 more years of this young man. And he is really a force underneath.
Doesn't look his age, though, Doug.
No.
Looks about 40. Maybe not quite 40.
Maybe if he shaved off the growth, he'd lose a few years.
There you go.
Canamesa connects.
There's Shea.
The rugged good looks.
He's actually a great kid, really sweet kid. And you talk to him off the court. On the court's a different story.
Yep. I'm guessing you mixed it up when you practiced with the Purple Eagles a couple of days ago. You toughened Shea up for the game.
I was dunking on him in the low post.
Canamesa now in double figures with 10 points. Niagara with the lead and the possession of the basketball. Bernoski guarded by Canamesa. 4:20 left to go. Damon Stewart had the pass go off his knee out of bounds. Looked like a quarterback having a bad handoff to a running back. Fumbled out of bounds.
Even a bad snap. Just didn't hand it off right. See, I'm not too sure if Damon Stewart was catch ready on this. Gets his hands up. No, actually, credit Marcus Faison because he batted it into Damon Stewart's hands. It's good defense.
Still relatively few turnovers on both sides. Osinski. Isaiah Stewart puts it up. Edwards after the rebound. Tied up. Jump ball. And it's Niagara possession. Edwards, in spite of his foul situation, continues to go hard underneath. Archbold back in for Osinski. Knapp goes out.
Siena has not committed a turnover in the second half. They've really done a nice job of controlling the basketball.
Archbold pressures Green in the backcourt. Darrell Green with a career-high tying 31 points here today. Shot clock under 20.
Little isolation.
Stewart short on the jumper. Canamesa the rebound. Siena trailing by a point with possession. 3.5 minutes to play. Faison puts it up. No. Dobrich had a hand on it. The foul against Damon Stewart. He and James Clinton chasing after that loose ball, and Stewart gets whistled. His first and the 9th against Niagara. 1-1 for James Clinton, who just a moment ago hit 1 out of 2. Osinski replaces Stewart. The other Stewart, that is Demond. Isaiah Stewart goes out. No relation between the two. James Clinton, 6'9", sophomore from Richland, New Jersey, went to St. Augustine Prep. Misses the front end, won't get the bonus. 81-80 Niagara. Dobrich watched by Faison. Here's Green on a clear out. Gets by Archbold. Pull up. Around the rim and out. Canamesa the rebound.
So close on the penetration. You think about the weapons that Niagara has, Doug. You know it's going to either be in Stewart's hands or Green's hands. Joe Mihalik saying those are pretty good hands to be in.
Well, the top scoring duo in the backcourt in the conference has done just that today against Paul Hewitt Saints. Green with 31, Stewart with 19. They have combined for 50 of the 81 Niagara points.
Great defense right here. Everybody's a rebounder. You weigh 150, you weigh 145, you weigh 145. We got a rebound though. Everybody's got a rebound.
I think Dobrich is like 135.
Keep them off. We need rebounds up, baby.
Joe Mihalik imploring his guards to help out underneath.
Well, that's a good point. That's a very, very good point. It was quite humorous, but it's so true. The little things win basketball games, like the guards going in and rebounding and picking up long rebounds. Paul Hewitt knows it. He's got 12 guys that can rebound.
Canamesa guarded by Stewart. Osinski posting Edwards. Backs his way down, up and in. Again, Edwards playing with 4 fouls. Didn't want to pick another one up. Siena back on top, 82-81. Edwards. No. Faison tried to snatch the rebound with one hand. Instead, lost it out of bounds. And we have a timeout. We'll take a break. We won't want to miss the finish. The Saints holding on to a 1-point lead over the Purple Eagles on the MAAC Television Network. Siena 82, Niagara 81. Late in this MAAC semifinal from the Pepsi Arena here in Albany. Let's take a look at today's Pepsi Slam of the game. Damon Stewart of the Niagara University Purple Eagles throwing it down. Our Pepsi Slam of the game. Pepsi, the joy of cola.
Doug, that was 2 of his 19 points, and right now, Joe Mihalik's got a little bit of an issue on his hands, running out of options. Option A is either Stewart or Green out top. Option B, Terry Edwards making some big shots for Niagara the last 5 minutes. You can't just rely on 3 guys, although these guys have carried him a long way. Breaking all the cardinal rules of basketball.
And over the last 6 minutes, Glenn, the two sides have been seesawing with the lead. 5 lead changes in the last 6 minutes. Niagara trailing by 1 with the basketball.
James Clinton, 6'8", now defending Darryl Green, around 5'11". We talked about how many different guys have tried to defend Green. We've seen about 7. He's the 7th guy.
Bernoski. 10 seconds to shoot.
Here's the clear out. 4 corners, open it up.
Dobrich couldn't handle the pass, facing after it. 2 seconds to shoot. Damon Stewart. Shot clock violation, Siena ball.
Doug, Dobrich passed up an open look to give it to Green. He's got to look to shoot.
Clinton, after the defensive effort against Green, goes out, replaced by Archbold.
How about that luxury? Sit 1'6'9" guy down, throw another one at him.
Canamesa.
Facing trying to post up Darryl Green down low.
Good defensive intensity by the Purple Eagles. Shot clock down to 10. 90 seconds left in regulation. Isaiah Stewart, air ball on the fade. Edwards the rebound.
Nice job, though, by Damon Stewart, tipping it to Edwards.
Niagara with the ball, down 1. Luke Dobrich. Denial defense by Archbold against Damon Stewart.
Great job by Green. Dobrich picked up his dribble. 3 guys stood. Green stepped to the ball.
6 seconds to shoot. Green misses the 2, facing the rebound, and he's knocked out of bounds by Edwards. And Edwards is just fouled out. 1 more Purple Eagle to the exits. He finishes with 9 points. And that's the 3rd Purple Eagle to foul out.
Not a good foul either. Really just tried to get out of the way. He stopped himself. A little bump with the shoulder. That's all it took.
Well, we've had pretty much everything happen here today. Glenn, we had the power outage with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in the first half. Found out that it was a huge transformer somewhere in the city of Albany that just blew. There was a widespread power outage, not just here in the arena. So they took an early halftime intermission, came back out, played 2 minutes and 10 seconds, took another break. That was the official halftime.
Change sides.
Change sides.
Like in a schoolyard game.
And that's pretty much been the way the game has gone. Back and forth, back and forth. This half, Siena has outscored Niagara 34-27. And you see 3 of the frontline players for the Purple Eagles out on fouls. Niagara over the double limit. Already with their 10 fouls, so facing to shoot 2.
See, with 3 guys fouling out on Joe Mihalik's team, that's an issue because they only go 7 deep. So now he goes to Strobel, 6'9" player who could rebound, but he's going to have to score with 50 seconds left as well. And now it's a 2-point lead, Doug. 50 seconds left.
74% foul shooter. He has 15 points so far here today. Siena leads by 3 with 50 seconds to go.
2-possession game, plenty of time.
Green, the high scorer in the game with 31, penetrates, pulls up, and he hits. New career high, 33 points, and the Purple Eagles back within 1.
And Doug, it's still a 2-possession game, 38 seconds on the clock. Siena takes it out underneath their basket. We got a good one here. 1-point lead. Watch how Green just stops short, drives the defense back, has an open look. So many moves. See, Archbold on that defensive segment was playing him for the 3-point shot. He was in his jock. So he drove him a little bit, drove him back, stopped, pulled up, at a wide open shot.
We're not letting them get the ball in bounds. Because they don't want to score. Don't get beat long. You have no timeouts left. Get in your man. How about the foul? Anybody got more than 3 fouls?
Nobody.
If they get the ball over half court, we're going to take a foul.
No layup.
Okay? Who is it? Who is it? Face on who?
Gotta believe. Face on Hannah Mason.
Dad, believe it, fellas.
Don't. Hey, listen. If you don't, this might be our best chance to get a steal. If you don't let him get it in the ball, inbound.
What do you want on offense if we get it right out? We have no timeouts.
We're running X and then come back to Daryl. Okay? Daryl, hands off, right? Hands up. Luke, back screen for Nate. That's up. Nate, back screen for Luke. Step out. And then Daryl, you're going to come back off the screen.
No more timeouts.
Okay? Nate. 1, 2, 3, now.
Great job by Joe Mihalik and his assistants reestablishing the foul situation and the timeouts.
Well, when he mentioned Faison and Cantamesa's name, those are the 2 guys that can make free throws.
There's Darryl Green, our Pepsi player of the game. Pepsi, the joy of Cola. The career high 33 points. 38 and 8/10 seconds to go here in the second half. Dwayne Archbold looking to inbound. Gets it to Faison. He's fouled immediately by Damon Stewart. So Faison, who just hit 2, back to the line to shoot 2. Joe Mihalik had said, if we don't get a steal in the backcourt and they get it to the front court, commit the foul. But Stewart went ahead and did it immediately. And only 0.8 of a second went off the clock.
And he's one of the few guys that could give fouls. Everyone else has got 4.
Nobody fouled out, but both teams went to their huddles. And the officials looked around and said, wait a second.
No one's here.
We're supposed to have free throws.
There's no players. The lights are on and there's no players.
6'5" senior from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Played his high school basketball in El Paso, Texas. Marcus Faison. Clinton replaces Cantamesa. Siena leads by 2. Saints by 3. Shot clock at 31, game clock at 33.
Watch the screen for Daryl. There's the staggered screen. There it is.
Deep 3. Strobel the offensive board, taken away by Archbold. The Purple Eagles need to foul and do. Archbold will go to the line. Strobel looked like he had come up with a big offensive board, but had it ripped out of his grips by Dwayne Archbold. Bernowski picks up his 3rd, and that'll send a 78% foul shooter to the line in the 6'6" sophomore Dwayne Archbold. Paul Hewitt taking the opportunity to talk to his other 4 players while Archbold shoots the first. Now it's a 2-possession game. Archbold with 10. Cantamesa with 10. Osinski with 15. Faison with 18. And Stewart, Isaiah, with 20. Paul Hewitt's club on top by 4.
All 4 guys in the backcourt to play defense. No one in the lane. No need.
They pick up in midcourt. 88-83. Damon Stewart slams it home with 12.3 seconds to go.
They got a foul right away.
Bernowski commits his 4th, and Osinski will go to the line. What do you think about that Siena defense allowing such an easy hoop?
Surprised is not the word. Stunned is more the word. He went in for a solo dunk, and he did it quick. Not too many ticks came off that clock, Doug. I'm shocked. Especially he took all 4 guys off the free throw line to prevent that from happening. Instead, Joe Mihalik said, go ahead, go right to the hole. And they had an option there. They could have pulled up and taken the 3. Instead, they went for the 2, and not too much time ticked off that clock.
Osinski once again makes it a 2-possession game. Now, Siena sends 1 player down to the foul lane to pressure the inbound if Osinski makes it. 90-85 Siena. 11.5 seconds to go. Berman in for Canamesa. Here's Damon Stewart, guarded by Isaiah Stewart for three. It's good. We've got a 2-point game. And another foul that'll send Faison to the line.
I've seen it all, Doug. Tremendous shot by Stewart. You have to wonder, Doug, even if Siena gets the win here, how much this is going to take out of them for tomorrow night's game. You have to wonder.
Very good point on either side. Whoever survives this
Whoever
battle.
survives this, no ifs, ands, and buts. A very thin Niagara team, especially Green playing 40 minutes, Stewart playing 40 minutes.
Faison short with Damon Stewart 3 feet away, woofing at him the whole way.
And that was huge. Man. That was a big miss. So now if he makes this, still plenty of time for Niagara to kick in a three.
Faison missed them both. The long tip. Faison saves. No. Niagara ball. 3 7/10 seconds to go. Niagara can win it with a 3, tie it with a 2. Paul Hewitt wants timeout.
Now, Doug, that to me looked like an intentional miss. I could be wrong about that, but that looked like an intentional miss to me. I'm not too sure why Marcus would have shot it like that. If it wasn't, then I understand it a little better. But boy, oh boy. We talked about how free throws win and lose basketball games the last 2 minutes of a game. Crucial miss. Let's hear Joe.
I mean, come on. You go screen for Darryl. Now you're coming up hard, okay? Pete, you come and get Damon. Damon, they're probably going to switch. You come and get it. Now remember, you have 2 dribbles with 3 seconds. Hard furnace to shoot. Luke, you set a screen too, okay? Luke, you start here, all right? You know what? Yeah. Luke, you get him too, all right? Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's go win. Yeah, let's do this.
Take another look at Faison's free throw. Missed them both short.
Tough to tell if it was intentional or not. It looked intentional to me. I think maybe he was going to try to hit it off the rim and get it right back, let the clock tick off. I'm not too sure.
Bernowski will be the inbound man in the backcourt. A 2 will tie, a 3 will win it for Niagara. Here's Stewart, puts it up for the win. No, and Siena, the top seed, holds on and goes to the championship. The Niagara Purple Eagles give the Siena Saints all they can handle. Both coaches embrace it midcourt. You see Damon Stewart. What a valiant effort by the 5th seeds from Western New York.
Doug, they had their chances of valiant effort, tremendous effort. This is a team that has been able to maintain their intensity for 40 minutes of great basketball. Some huge clutch baskets by both Green and Stewart.
We'll take a break. One half of the championship matchup is set. The Siena Saints will face the winner of the upcoming Iona-Fairfield game. You're watching the MAAC Television Network. We're back in Albany, where Siena has held on to beat Niagara 90-88 in our first semifinal. The Saints move on to the championship game tomorrow night against the winner of Iona and Fairfield, which is coming up in just a few minutes. Welcome back, everybody, to the Pepsi Arena. Doug Sherman along with Glenn Consor. A privilege to have watched that game. What a fantastic, classic semifinal. Niagara just couldn't come up with that last shot. Damon Stewart a little bit short.
Well, they ran a little thin. They ran into foul trouble. More importantly, Niagara did a great job of maintaining their intensity for 40 minutes. Stewart got off a great look at the basket. Good defense, though, by Siena. But this is a team that really laid it all out on the floor. The guards carried him the whole game. You got to give a lot of credit to Joe Mihalik. They just came up a few players short.
Okay, let's send it over to Howard Simon, standing by with a winning coach, Paul Hewitt.
All right, guys, thank you. It was a MAAC tournament classic, and Paul just mentioned before we came out here, your season flashed before your eyes, huh?
That shot went up in the air. I didn't even see if it was a 2 or a 3, but the season flashed before my eyes when I saw that ball in the air.
What was it? I mean, this game was a classic to watch. What was it like to see your team fight through the first half problems and eventually hold on?
Obviously, it wasn't the most comfortable feeling in the first half, but I like the way we battled. Got great play from sophomore James Clinton on defense. You know, it's funny. I was out recruiting with Joe the other night, and I told him, I said, your team scares me because he does some funny things with matchups that makes it tough to guard. And today, they did a great job in the first half of exploiting our weaknesses defensively. In the second half, I thought we tightened up defensively.
Yeah, how did you adjust? Because obviously Darryl Green was just exploding, but you got to him, and then I think he didn't get a bucket till about the last minute of the game.
Well, we didn't go to a straight triangle and 2, but basically we told 3 guys, Dwayne Archibald, James Clinton, and Isaiah Stewart. 2 of those guys were going to be in the game at all times, and one of them was going to have 54. James usually had 54, Stewart, and one of the other guards had Green, and we just told him just deny him. Let those other guys beat us because Green and Stewart were going crazy.
All right, Paul, congratulations.
Thanks, Howard.
Paul Hewitt joining us now. Isaiah Stewart had a huge game, not only defensively but offensively as well. Would you just breathe a sigh of relief at the end of the game? What were your emotions like?
I don't know. I froze when I saw that shot go up at the end. Our plan was to foul because we had a foul to give, but he was getting ready to shoot the 3, so I just backed off him and hoped it didn't go in, and it just fell short. I was just thankful it fell short.
Talk about your offensive game. It seemed like you and Darryl Green in the first half were trading threes.
Yeah, early in the game, I mean, my shot felt good. I think it kind of went off a little bit after the power went out, but thankfully our team pulled together and we came out with a victory.
All right, Isaiah, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Isaiah Stewart, Siena hangs on, gets quite a scare, but the top seed Saints advance to the final for the 3rd straight year. Doug and Glenn, back over to you.
Thank you, Howard. A game-high 20 points for Isaiah Stewart. He really held the offense together in the early going with his outside shooting.
Oh, he certainly did. He also did a great job defensively on Darryl Green. Just to have that luxury of running 5 or 6 guys at Darryl Green, he still had over 30 points, which was a terrific effort by Darryl Green. But you really could see the depth of Siena, a very strong team. But as I mentioned before, Doug, you have to wonder now, going into the final game tomorrow night, how much this game took out of Siena.
Well, we'll take a look at the brackets right now. Only 3 teams alive for the 2000 MAAC championship. And it was this close from Niagara making it over Siena as we take another look at DeMond Stewart with the 3-point try that would have won it for the Purple Eagles. Instead, Niagara goes home. Siena moves on. You're watching the MAAC Television Network.